Welcome, my dear guests, to the captivating expanses of my story. Chapter 10. Just as the sun poured out its first golden rays over the majestic towers of the capital, a sharp alarm penetrated the silence and caused the air to tremble. In a moment, the first space fleet's control area turned into a brooding ocean of activity, as if a volcano had erupted and its burning lava poured into the hearts of the brave crews. With a dark look that seemed to overcome the darkness of the night, Admiral Paulina Romero fixed the adze before herself as if they were the keys to a mysterious treasury. As predetermined by the gods, the enemy space fleet had reached its position, like a predator surrounding its prey and ready to attack mercilessly. "Status report," murmured Paulina with a voice that made even the most discouraged officers tremble in their boots. "Two hunting associations of the fanatical Messengers of Fareh, consisting of no less than 40 corvettes, ma'am," replied the censor officer with a breath of reverence. "It is nothing less than the Fusion Corvette class. They have just reached the Los Fellini border system." Paulina leaned her head as her eyes sparkled with determination. "All right," she whispered, with her voice filled with irrepressible determination. "The first space fleet is to occupy the shield attack formation," she added, her words like a sculpted sword, ready to penetrate everything. "We will secure this sector," she announced with unwavering strength and boundless courage that filled the space. In carefully arranged formations, she sent her ships with stoic grace to the well-developed areas of the Los Fellini system. A struggle of truly epic magnitude and unimaginable duration would unfold. Still, Paulina, the unshakable lotus of the universe, was filled with a confidence that challenged even the most brutal storms. Their space fleet, a true masterpiece of engineering craftsmanship, far surpassed the primitive companions of the enemy envoys and made them appear like toys of past times. As Paulina's Space Union bravely entered the fierce battle, the enormous Second Space Fleet, led by the fearless Admiral Kate Brock, assembled in the distant Polaris system, an impressive armada, ready to plunge into the abyss of war. Brock stood on the high command bridge of her flagship, prepared to give orders to attack. With unparalleled authority, the first officer proclaimed, with a voice that shook from determination, "In exactly 3 days, our glorious space fleet will be fully operational in all its glory and power." Brock nodded as he looked at her impenetrable face. "Excellent," she whispered as a tender breath in the air. "We are going to secure the Polaris system as a reserve, so that the Uni associations cannot enter our room through the wormhole." In her gray eyes, sparkling like sliced diamonds, burned a burning desire for battle. Deep within her, she burned the desire to crush the envoys and prove their superior strength. Rita Griffin's days were calm but did not diminish her productivity. With an unwavering dedication, she and her team dedicated themselves to creating revolutionary technologies. With passion, Rita revealed that morning, "Oh, my love, the kinetic batteries carry a gigantic potential. They will undoubtedly bring about a revolution in our Navy. Their impact is indefinitely immeasurable." Hinata shrugged her forehead with a worrying eyelid. "Oh, let this destructive power never fall into the wrong hands," she whispered in front of herself. But Rita no longer listened and plunged into her engaging research. A silent squeeze escaped Hinata's lips while she carried with her Rita's enthusiasm, although she herself was more cautious. In silent determination, Hinata swore to watch over her girlfriend. Together, they would explore the right path. Meanwhile, Paulina's tested space team showed the fanatical envoy the technological superiority of the Imperial Space Fleet. In breathtaking and epic space battles, she ceaselessly crushed one enemy alliance after another as if the gods themselves had blessed her. With an iron determination, Paulina led her brave stages through the fierce battles. Her leadership was relentless, and her presence on the battlefield resembled that of a goddess of war. There is no doubt that the story of Paulina's heroic deeds will remain in the annals of the Empire forever. Through the infinite vastness of the universe, heavily damaged wrecks drift as the last messenger ships retreat. A spectacle of unprecedented drama unfolded before the eyes of the brave crews. The Los Fellini system, once a haven of uncertainty and chaos, was finally secured, a triumph of immeasurable importance. Paulina, a fearless and determined leader, was at the head of her exhausted teams. Her eyes sparkled with determination as she announced the victory to Kasach. But in her heart, she knew there was no time for calm and relaxation. No, the glow of triumph was not allowed to shake their senses. With an iron will and an irresistible thirst for justice, she immediately began the persecution. It penetrated the enemy territory, where dangers and challenges lurked, which only the bravest could cope with. The darkness enveloped her like an impenetrable veil, but Paulina did not allow herself to be stifled by doubts. She was a tactic born to lead, and nothing could stop her. In the depths of the enemy territory, she found allies willing to sacrifice their lives for the common cause. Together, they plunged into the strudel of the unknown, ready to risk anything to free the galaxy from tyranny. In other places, the Imperial forces also made unstoppable advances. With tireless zeal, the tested expedition ships of the Kazakh Empire explored new systems to map them with extreme accuracy. But in the unknown depths of the Waruta system, a breathtaking discovery of unprecedented magnitude was revealed to them: vast deposits of the rare substance of dark matter. The brave astronomers were fascinated by the incomparable beauty of the galaxy as they traveled through the infinite vastness of the universe. Every step they took led them deeper into the unknown fields of the Waruta system. Their hearts were beating with excitement as they approached the truth hidden here. The Ek Equinox, a ship of incomparable elegance and technological sophistication, glides through the vastness of space with a grace otherwise reserved only for the chosen ones. The crew, a pledged bunch of explorers and pioneers, was ready to face the challenges the galaxy prepared for them. When the majestic expedition ships reached the Waruta system, a heliosphere of mysteries opened up before them. Every day brought discoveries and insights that expanded the crew's understanding of the universe. But with each puzzle solved, two new ones appeared, and the fascination for the unknown grew. The expedition became a journey of knowledge and self-discovery, with each member having their revelation. Suddenly, a loud alarm penetrated the vast halls of the Ek Equinox, shaking the research centers. The Senate of the Empire, filled with euphoria, could hardly contain its enthusiasm. This great discovery will bring our research to an unprecedented level. They cheered with a voice full of hope and promise. They took the initiative without hesitation. Let's secure this precious resource at all costs. With unprecedented determination, Imperial mining ships and troops were sent into the fascinating Waruta system, ready to face the challenges of the unknown. The Empire would secure this treasury for itself. But Admiral Romero could not rest. Amid the nervous battles that shook the Empire, she, with stoic determination, destroyed another enemy space fleet in the Thrufuus system. Their deeds were like a storm that stormed over the sea, setting the enemies in fear and terror. But instead of rushing into the next operation, she only gave her exhausted crews a brief break before the next bold advance came. Paulina was a prudent tactician whose name would be eternal in the annals of history. Driven by a just rage, Paulina directed her ships with bold determination into the Inti system, where another colony of the envoys of Fareh was located. The planet Vokwerk was to be liberated, she swore. Even if it cost her the last, she would not allow anything or anyone to stop Kasach Manifesto destiny. As Paulina, with powerful movements, destroyed the associations, a dark plan relaxed in the holy halls of the Senate, which stirred up the minds. The security guards, whose sharp minds were always vigilant, sounded alarm about a dangerous new unstoppable trend: the non-interventionists. The floods of the movement grew unstoppably while it unstoppingly attracted more and more followers. The demand to avoid the galactic conflict sounded like a thundering echo through the spheres. Amid these turbulent times, Kasach found himself trapped, filled with alarm and concern. Like a sea of flames, her anger was kindled when she declared with a voice full of passion, "This restraint is nothing but a betrayal of our beloved kingdom. Every true patriot is called to oppose this subversive resistance." Her words permeated the room and lit a burning fire in the hearts of the listeners, a desire for change that could no longer be reduced. The room was filled with suspicious eyes that pervaded anyone who dared to criticize interventionism. Even the divine Empress Savia Heimer, a woman of extraordinary intelligence and unshakable strength, entered silently. The power of the movement was still too weak to oppose it courageously. But deep inside, she had a silent hope of a change that could change the world's fate forever. Amid this tumultuous space fog, Paulina's combat-proven space fleet proceeded unstoppably, its sails tightly strained in the wind of conquest. With unprecedented ease, they pursued the enemy ships while safeguarding the Kuriti system with iron determination without encountering bloody battles. The envoys of Fareh, unwittingly opposing their inevitable destruction, were nothing more than toys in the cruel game of fate, which Admiral Paulina dominated with a frightening certainty. This certainty was revealed in her soul as she crushed another enemy space fleet in the Ulnar system. The fearless leader Paulina led her stages to glorious triumph with unwavering determination. Her eyes were like the optics of a highly sophisticated android, relentlessly directed at the adds, while her heart was almost suffocated by exhaustion and compassion. But these emotions were denied to her because only the mission counted. After an epic battle whose outcome left the entire galaxy's fate at odds, the brave ground troops set up with earring noise on the distant planet Vakwork. Led by the fearless General Nadine, whose heart beat hard from determination, the unstoppable invasion for liberation began. Weeks of relentless siege and bloody confrontation followed while the fighters' shouts of despair and courage filled the sky. But at the horizon, there was hope for a glorious victory. Vakwork, once an impenetrable fortress, now lies in rubble and ashes, a symbol of the irrevocable determination of humankind. With a stone mask on her face, Nadine received the surrender of the fanatics. Deep within her, there was a burning contempt for this senseless violence. But her duty, her unwavering promise, pushed her unstoppably forward. In silent prayers, Nadine begged for peace while the war raged. Rita also remained untouched by the devastating effects of the war. The scarce resources and the lack of essential materials paralyzed many of her critical research projects. Hinata whispered desperately and let her gaze swing over the cramped landscape. A deep, unshakable conviction permeated the words flowing from her lips. Without sufficient resources, we will never be able to the technological superiority that we so urgently need, she complained passionately. Her voice was filled with a breath of despair that seemed to stifle the air around her. When will this senseless war finally end? She asked, her eyes filled with hope. But the answer was missing, lost in the galaxy's unknown vastness, while Hinata fought the darkness bravely. She knew it was important not to lose faith in a better future and to continue fighting for progress. Every day, she committed herself to preserving the resources. She also gave other people hope and motivation to contribute. It was a long and challenging journey, but Hinata was determined to finish him. A deep sigh escaped the sensual lips of Rita, accompanied by an expression of deep empathy that touched the hearts of those present. Soft as a breath of the wind, her voice whispered the words into the silence, "Have patience, my dear friend. For peace, peace is like a delicate flower that needs time and space to thrive and unfold its magnificent flowers." In the war, they stood, two figures whose fate seemed inseparably linked. Rita and Hinata, two names for courage and perseverance, stood firmly in their longing for a world beyond hatred and violence. In the darkest hours of the night, when the screams of despair sounded through the air, they secretly nourished this precious hope that had remained to them as their only asset. They knew it would not be easy to follow the path of peace, but their unwavering will pushed them forward. Together, they would fight against the currents of fate and create a future filled with love and forgiveness. Paulina was a woman of extraordinary strength and determination whose soul had never experienced the tender touches of passion. The turmoil of the war shaped her life, and her heart was beating in harmony with an iron sense of duty dominated by her iron hand. With every victorious battle she fought, she pushed her majestic space fleet forward unstoppably, day by day, from triumph to triumph. But even the slightest setback sparked in her a wave of unstoppable anger, which burned like wildfire within her, putting her into an accurate shower of destruction. It was a memorable day when the communications officer of Ek Armstrong announced with a shaking voice the disastrous news that their equipment had failed. A shower of grievance permeated Rita Griffin. The words penetrated her ears, leaving a trace of discomfort. "This unforgivable incompetence is simply unacceptable," she said in a furious outburst. But she forced herself to contain her overwhelming emotions. Because it was all too aware that such unexpected failures threatened the entire fabric of the war strategy. With unwavering will, Rita increased the pressure on her subjects, because she knew that it was now more critical than ever that each individual fulfilled their duty. As long as she was the chief scientist of the Empire, all research tools should work precisely like an atomic clock. In Cape Brock, there was growing unrest. The impatience permeated the air and caused the hearts of those present to beat high. With a voice reflected through the vast halls of the Senate, she answered the question on everyone's lips: when will the long-awaited great attack finally begin? The time has come for the second space fleet to be deployed. However, the Imperial Senate still hesitated. Brock and her brave crew remained frustrated in the Polaris system while Admiral Paulina embraced all the laurels. Cape Brock's interior broke like a volcano just before the eruption. An unstoppable longing pushed her to prove that her space fleet was a severe power of the entire galaxy. In no way could she let this opportunity go unused. Amid the war's turmoil, Rita avoided the events and focused on visionary research. There was one idea that had drawn her in particular: interstellar trading societies. She stood exalted before the Senate, Her eyes shone with enthusiasm. With a voice that was little more than a whisper, she began to weave her words, as if she were invoking the magic of a forgotten world. Imagine a network of dealers and service providers that could not only encompass our galaxy but also unite it in a harmonious unity, she whispered. The silence was tangible while the attendees listened to their words. It was as if it opened a hidden door to a new dimension in which the limits of the imaginable disappeared, and the possibilities grew to infinity. The notion of it alone caused the hearts of the listeners to be lifted up and their heads filled with countless dreams. It was an idea that seduced people and stirred up their imaginations. An idea so captivating and inspiring that it passed through people's heads like a tender breath and filled their hearts with infinite curiosity. It was like a mysterious spell had come upon her, enchanting her senses and enlightening her imagination. This thought was like a sparkling diamond shining in the light of the sun and brightening people's eyes. It was a thought that gave them hope and motivated them to grasp the stars and realize their dreams. In the dark shadows of the war, Rita remained intact in her vision. She was sure the seed of hope and progress would never fade. The war was unstoppably approaching its end, a year of darkness and despair in which peace seemed only a distant illusion. But deep in the hearts of the people still glowed a spark of hope that stood against the dark shadows of war. Because they dreamed of a future beyond hatred, a future in which knowledge flourished and harmony ruled. For this dream, they had to subdue the militant forces in the galaxy that denied others the right to live and saw themselves standing above all others. This dream was worth defending with all our strength because it offered the possibility of a galaxy filled with love and understanding. And so this hope remained in the hearts of Rita, Nadine, and all those who longed for peace, indelible and unwavering. Even in the deepest abysses of darkness, where the shadows stretched out their threatening claws, they found comfort in the shining light of the stars that lit the sky every night. Hope was like a precious treasure, waiting only to be seized by them. And as the new year approached, it lay before them like an unwritten book, filled with countless possibilities and secrets waiting to be revealed. They were aware of the abundance of these possibilities and were guided by the certainty that life had so much more to offer them. They should never give up their faith. That was the mantra that was deeply embedded in her heart. It was easy to lose faith in a world of doubt and uncertainty. Hey, I would be happy if you could give my video a like, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date.